everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over my August budget recap. So we'll be filling in the actuals, talking about the percentages. I also like to calculate my savings rate. We'll update my mortgage payoff, all of the fun savings goals. We'll talk about all of it. So if you have not seen my budget video, I will link the original August budget video. I will also link September's budget video down below. I share a budget and a recap every month. And with that, let's go ahead and jump in. So the first sheet I have here is the budget. So in the previous video, we did this column together, the budgeted. I have already gone through and filled most of these worksheets out. I will do a little bit of math with you together later, but not yet. And yeah, so the actuals here, and this one I got kind of screwed up with, I didn't put enough lines, so I'm kind of all over the place. But going through this quickly, if it has a check mark, it means it was exactly the same. And then if there was a variance, I put down the number. So for budgeted income, I budgeted for $42.64. That is the paycheck amount that I get from my job. But I actually took home $5,045.73. So it increased by $781.73. That's just extra income I got throughout the month. So before we go through these numbers, let me flip this over. This is my August paycheck report. I just write down the date, the amount, and a description of, what the money is. And then I do like to label if it's active or passive income. My definitions might be different than yours, but for me, active means that I had to exchange some sort of like time or work for the money. So going through these, first I've got my salary. You'll notice that these both have a July date. I am a month ahead, so my checks from July sit in my bank account until August rolls around, and then I use them for August. So that's something that my previous job, I was paid once a month, so I was kind of forced into doing that. And now with my new job, even though I'm paid twice a month, it just works the best for me, and it helps me kind of feel like I've got a little bit of a buffer. If I were to move jobs or lose my job or something crazy, I know that I've got at least a month in addition to my emergency fund. So that's been working out for me. Then I had my Capital One interest. This is from my high yield savings account, Discover Cashback. I do have a Discover card, and each quarter it rotates which category of spending is 5% cashback instead of 1%. And in the third quarter, it is restaurants. So that's easy enough. I think the first quarter is like grocery, the next one's gas, and then it's restaurant, and then like, I don't know, Target or something. So I am trying to be mindful of that. So I got $17.18 back from Discover. My friend and I went out to eat, and I paid the bill, and then she gave me $20 so to cover for her half. So that I do track things like that because it offsets, how much I'm spending. I spent $20 more than I would have if I didn't pay for her, so I do track those things. Betterment, 17 cents, that's for investments. My boyfriend we do split some bills. We don't share all of our finances, but like grocery, household stuff, we split. And then also he does not online shop at all, but he asks me to order things for him through Amazon or Target or, whatever. So this month I did. He wanted to get some new clothes for work, being that he's traveling again and just wanted to kind of spruce up his wardrobe. So I did buy him probably like $300 worth of clothes, which he did, of course, pay me back. So that's the $720 there. And then also my Capital One cashback card. This is what I use for everything that's not in the 5% category. So this is what I use for groceries, for gas, for all those things. So total income, $5,045.73. Active is $42.63.99, which is 84.5%. And passive is this $781.74, which is 15.5%, which I think is pretty good. So now that you know how I got that extra income, let's look at how this actually flushed out here. So I'm just going to go through the things that are a little bit different. So the groceries, budgeted $500, only spent $323. We ate out a lot more in August than we normally do. So the money that I didn't spend on groceries kind of flushes itself out. I put it towards the spending, but I am happy to see that, we were able to be below on our groceries, even though I know it's because we didn't eat at home as much as we normally do. Gas, I came in right at 60. I fill up my tank at the beginning of every month. And then from there, I just kind of see how I'm going. And at the end of the month, I will top off up to the 60 amount. I know how much, you know, and you kind of like pull the trigger and play the game at the gas pump. But I try to keep it at 60. And that's what happened. Spending super high, 13, 68, 66. So this is the category that when I bought my boyfriend those, you know, $300 worth of clothes, it triggers here. This is also eating out. Spending is my lump kind of like, I don't have an eating out category. I don't have a clothing category. I don't have, I don't know, miscellaneous category. This is just all discretionary spending. So this one is super high this month, I will admit. But when I looked at it in my spreadsheet, because I do have a spreadsheet that I track all of my expenses in, most of this came from my boyfriend. So it is what it is. I'm okay with it. It was 27.13%, which is higher than I'd like it to be, but you know, we still came out ahead at the end of the month. Moving down into funds, some of these just are up by a few cents because of the high yield savings accounts at Capital One that they're in. So, but incidental, lower than normal. I guess I should have marked that as green. I don't know. That's okay. It's not like the end of the world. What else? Home here. So we budgeted 50, but ended up with 326.50. We decided to buy a carpet shampoo machine. I will link the one that we got down below. It is phenomenal. We have white carpet in our living room. I don't know why anybody would do that. It's a special type of torture, but we did decide to buy one instead of just renting one from our hardware store. It's a lot lighter. It's more of like the actual size of a normal vacuum machine instead of like this giant thing that you rent. So we did buy that. We're very happy with that purchase. This is one that my boyfriend and I split, but all in all, it came out of this category. Opportunity a little bit lower because I did, you know, buy the carpet machine, but that's okay. I'm still on track to meet the goal that I had for here. And then my emergency fund just has a little extra change in it. So overall, my funds, 30.62%. I should say my expenses, 66.9%. Really would like to get that lower. All right, and then the last section is investing. These just grew a few cents there, but nothing, you know, crazy. Still positive. It still did contribute to investing. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a peek at my overview sheet now. I like to kind of have this overview for my binder when I put these back in. So total income, we've already talked about the percentage passive and active. I put it here. Here I added the different categories of my budget and the percentages. I think I'd like to start putting this on the overview sheet just so I can have a quick look to see, ooh, that was a expense heavy or fund heavy or whatever month. Next, we have our savings rate. So let's go ahead and calculate that. But before that, we're going to do my sinking funds. So I do share with you guys some of my sinking funds. This is not everything, but quite a few, just because I like to talk through why I use some of the things, and it helps me remember, you know, okay, yep, this is why I have this much set aside. So first one is annual. I did not have any expenses, so this is just building on itself. Miko is my cat. I don't think I really bought him much, maybe just like a little bit of food, but usually I just buy his food, like I buy like 3 or 4 bags at a time, and then we're good. Incidental is down just a little bit. I ordered something off of Amazon. I ordered a pair of jeans. I did not like the cut on these, so I returned them. And they said, you know, if you bring it to a UPS store, you don't have to like package it. Great. Go to the UPS store and they say, no, it says that you have to package it. And it was just frustrating. So I just bought a mailer slip from UPS. I was like, I'm not dealing with this. So unexpected mail return, but whatever. Vacation is building on itself. We were going to take a trip in September right after Labor Day, but we have canceled that. And then we've got beauty, which is down. I did spend some money. I bought a new makeup palette and a couple of other just like essential things that I needed, hygiene wise. Gifts is up. It's building on itself. I had a bunch of birthdays in August and early September that I bought gifts for. Opportunity, this is kind of a general fund, but right now I'm saving for a luxury bag. My goal was $2,200 and I'm there. So I have funded the bag. I was going to purchase it on this trip that is now canceled, so I will wait because I really want that like in-person experience. So I'll wait till the next opportunity I have to do that, but it's really nice to know that this money is there, and whenever I get the chance to have that experience, it's going to be that much better because I will put it on my credit card, but I'll just pay it right off. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then home, we are ending the month at $50, and we did buy that carpet shampoo machine. So here's the savings rate. I've been through the spiel a few times, so I'm going to go through this a little fast, but I calculate two different savings rate. One includes my mortgage principal and one does not. There's like a whole school of thought about each of them, so I just calculate both of them. So A here is the changing cash. So from all my different accounts, I take what I ended August with minus what I ended July with, and then here's my difference, $885.46. B is investing, so I have two columns, what I contributed and then what I earned, and this is like truly dividends and interest and things like that, not just the change in fair market price. So I have a 401k that I'm contributing to, my Roth IRA, my HSA account, that's my health savings account for my high deductible health plan. This is one that I'm working on like prioritizing first to max out because there is a limit on how much you can contribute through the year. And then once the year's over, you don't get to like back contribute it to, so I want to like make sure I'm using the time I have now. GroundFloor is 0, and then Betterment, this is like my taxable account that I just add some money to save up for something bigger. So all of this equals $850.57. My mortgage principal, I paid $352.47 towards the balance of my mortgage this past month, so I have that there. And then D is my total income, and this is important to talk about a little bit more now because I have my take-home income, which we looked at together, the $5,045.73. But then I have two other pieces here that are taken out of my check before it even comes to the take home. So I need to add those back in because I'm factoring for them here as I saved that money and invested it. So it needs to be part of my total income for my percentage to be accurate. So I added these back in. So that brings me to $5,771.13. So here are my formulas. This is where we're going to do the math together. I've already written out the numbers, so we just need to pull the calculator out. Okay, so we will do the one with our mortgage first. So we have $885.46 plus $850.57 plus $352.47. And let me write this number in. So $2,088.50. And we're going to divide it by the total income and multiply it by 100. So 36.18%. Pretty good. So now we'll do it again, but we're not including the mortgage principal. So we've got $885.46 plus $850.57. So that's $1736.03. Divided by 5, 771.13 times 100. So I saved 30.08% without including the mortgage. That is phenomenal to me. Before I had switched jobs, and I didn't have a 401k, I didn't have an HSA, I was saving like 5-10%. So I'm really pleased with these numbers growing so significantly. It's also because I'm debt free now, paid off all my debt, so more of my money can go towards savings. Okay, so I'm going to write down these percentages on my overview sheet here. Okay, so I've got those filled in, and then I also just quickly calculated, I have it on my spreadsheet, all of my monthly savings rates, and I'm calculating year to date. So I take the savings rate of every month and divide it by that many months that we've already had, and then I get these numbers. So with mortgage, my year to date kind of average is $1,763, and without the mortgage is $1,114. So feeling good about that. Moving down this overview sheet, total debt, 0. I am super proud of that. So my emergency fund, I am slowly funding, but that is going to become more of a priority in a couple of months after I max out that HSA account. I have over 1 month of expenses in there, plus I'm a month ahead. So I kind of feel like I've got 2 months of expenses. Like if I lost my job, I can make it 2 months, you know? So anyway, I am going to be working on getting this up to 3 months plus $1,000 like in physical cash, because having actual physical cash available in emergency is, in my opinion, priceless. I've gone through a few things where I'm just really glad I had kind of an envelope of money safely hidden in my home. So that's what I'm working towards. I am 30.10% of the way there. May not worth change. I just share with you guys the change in percentage. It went down 1.33%. The housing market where I live is starting to adjust. It really popped to this summer. So I won't be surprised if this comes down for a couple of months to balance itself out. But overall, you know I'm saving more money. My balances have more. It's just that kind of home value. Here I have my mortgage balance. So $147,103.32. For reference, my original mortgage was $160,000. I closed on my house in May of 2018. So the percentage paid off, I've paid off 8.06%. And then the percent owned, and I just take my purchase price, not necessarily like the value, is 26.44%. So that's cool. I own over a quarter of my home. And since we just talked about mortgage, let's flip over and look at my payoff schedule. So ever since I bought my home in May of 18, I've been putting at least one extra payment towards my mortgage a year. And I do that by taking how much one payment would be and dividing it by 12. And that's how much extra I pay each month. So for me, in my situation, I need to pay $62.69 extra each month in order to have one extra payment per year. And to me, $62.69 is like very reasonable. So over the time, I have been able to kind of put a little bit more in. So for example, my escrow readjusted, and I actually don't have to put as much towards property taxes. And instead of just taking that money back into my budget, I'm paying the same amount that I was used to budgeting for. And then that little, difference is now going to the principal instead of towards escrow. So anyway, you guys, we are at the bottom of my first sheet. How exciting. So I have this amortization schedule. I will link down below where you can, print one off like this with your details of your loan. So I have obviously printed what I was on track to do, and then I write in what actually happened. So August 2021, I was supposed to pay $486 in interest. I paid $476.16, so almost $10 less. That's great. I was supposed to only pay $266 in principal, but I actually paid $352.47. My balance was supposed to be at $150,220, but I'm actually at $147,103.32. So very, very exciting. And so the next piece of this, which has to do with the colors, is I go ahead and highlight as I surpass the balances I was scheduled to be at. So let me get my green highlighter here. I'm doing a different color per calendar year. Okay, so 147,103 is the magic number. So that is definitely lower than 147,232. But 147,103 is not quite lower than 146,955. So maybe next month I'll be able to cross off 2. That's super exciting when I get to do that. But yeah, milestone for me to actually be done with my first sheet here and move on to the second one. And so I can count how many months ahead I am, and that's why I really like highlighting it, because it's such a good visual. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm 11 months ahead on my mortgage. Doesn't mean that I get to just take 11 months off of paying my mortgage. It doesn't work like that, but it just is really nice to see this kind of build over time, and it's very motivating for me. I'm not like in a hurry to pay off my mortgage. I have a really low interest rate, so it's not like a huge priority for me right now, but it is nice to see that one extra payment a year can actually make a difference. So there's that. And let's wrap up our overview sheet here with some reflections. So I try to put some pros and cons each month. Pros, I stayed out of debt. That's a huge priority for me, is to make sure that now that I am debt free, I don't go back into credit card debt or anything like that. I was able to fund more to my opportunity fund and actually max that out. And my grocery was below budget, even though it technically kind of went into spending for eating out. It still was below budget. In relation, spending way above, but I'm okay with it. Like I said, I understand where those purchases came from. And if I take out how much the difference was between groceries that from what I budgeted, I take that much out. I take out how much my boyfriend kind of racked up for me, even though he paid it off, paid it back to me. I'm okay with where I'm at. I also stopped tracking for a few days. So I do track every purchase in my spreadsheet. And it's really hard to catch up again when you take like a week off. It feels kind of overwhelming and you kind of feel like, oh, I really don't want to do this, but you have to do it. So that's something that I want to try to, I usually track my expenses like twice a week, usually like on Tuesdays and like Fridays. So on Tuesdays I get the whole weekend, everything's cleared. And then on Fridays I just plug in, any grocery, whatever, spending I had. All right, so for September goals, I put 5 here. So fund the opportunity with what I budgeted. I will, meet that goal. Contribute catch up to HSA. So I have to add $951.42 to my HSA account in order to max it out. So that is something I'm working on. I also want to look into estate planning. I want to make sure that I have like a will and power of attorney and all of those things set up. I know I'm really young, but I kind of feel like the worst part is setting it up for the first time, and then maintaining it long term is probably easier. So I do want to look into doing that now that I have some assets like my home and car and other things. I also would like to keep the expense section below 50% of my total budget. I don't know if 50% is doable or not, but that's just going to be the goal, and we'll see how I come out, and I might adjust that. And then 5, of course, staying debt free and making sure that I pay off my balances every month. So that is my overview. Lots of money talk and me talking, but I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of process of filling out these numbers and talking through how these actuals went is really helpful for me and offers a lot of reflection, and it allows me to kind of hone in on certain areas. So I really like sharing these, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.